How to understand and deal with intrusive thoughts and increase your confidence. I'm a psychotherapist, psychologist, coach. I've worked for 30 years globally. My name's Poppy. I'm unaffiliated. I work for you. Some of this may be new. All of it you could apply to your life right now. Please take what you want and leave what you don't. Firstly, it's a coping strategy. It's an avoidance of a bigger issue that we don't want to face. We blow up the little things so they become overwhelming. And it's a fantastic way of not dealing with, turning a blind eye to, what's actually really important that's not being spoken about. So here's what I would suggest is firstly, no joke, congratulate yourself for being that creative, that you've come up with some kind of method to contain your overwhelm, your fear, your feelings, and that's what you've been getting by with. Our culture doesn't teach us how to navigate life, period. So be careful with yourself. I've written notes because there's so much stuff. So you could consider and ask for help. We're tribal. We get to have help. We can't see what we've buried. It's like a tomato plant. You can't see the seeds growing. There's something deep-rooted. Get some help for somebody to go through this with you. Face off with the real thing so you can nail it now, long term, so you can thrive, not just manage with coping strategies, actually implicate and implement change. What's your intuition or higher self say about it? This is key for any kind of happiness in life. There's a difference between the chatter and the judgment and this still soft voice that oftentimes we bypass. The heart brain develops before the brain, the heart. 2 seconds, put your hand on your heart, ask any question and you'll have the answer. If you're very anxious and there's been a lot of trauma, that can be challenging because it's so noisy in your head. If that's the case, here's what I would recommend. Is every hour, for 3 hours, you take a couple of minutes and you do a gratitude rampage. This gets you centered and focused. If it's bad enough, you'll do it. If it's not, we don't do it. For 3 hours, every hour, take 2 minutes, gratitude rampage. I'm grateful I'm able-bodied, if you're lucky enough to be so. I'm grateful I've got 4 walls to keep me safe. There can be the problems in your life and the great gratitude for the fact that there are certain things we have that life would be very difficult without them. For 3 days, every hour for 3 hours. That helps keep you grounded and gets you into a discipline where you can trust you to follow through. All the time we're looking to very gently and kindly course correct, guide ourselves. If you've been, around for 30 years, for example, that's 3 decades of perfecting the art of being anxious in your head and avoiding actually what's really going on. My guess is it hasn't been safe for you to speak into the real issues. So we contort ourselves like a pretzel, come up with these weird and wonderful things so that we don't have to risk the big issue, which is we don't feel worthy of love. It's the world over. My hair's standing on end. Whenever that happens, I know we're connecting. The bigger issue in life for any of us is I won't be loved. So if we have a fear of that, getting kicked out of the tribe, we're tribal, we'll come up with anything to distract ourselves. So it might be something super severe that you have, food, drugs, drink, body dysmorphia. I mean, we come up with everything. I used to work in a psychiatric facility in my first training. The things people would do to themselves to keep their mind off the bigger things. So I mean it when I say, how about some compassion to say, good for me for coming up with all these weird and wonderfuls so that I don't go mad or die. Start there. Then there's too much uncertainty, generally, is the actual sort of practical issue. Too much unknown. Pop in the chat anytime that I'm saying something that resonates, just say, okay, yeah, I get it. We need more certainty when we feel there's too much uncertainty. So So what that involves is very specific things that we get to hold ourselves to, where we're building the sort of, it's like the scales, you know, where we're balancing. This is a bipolar world. Night, day, black, white, happy, sad, male, female. We need to actually get with the reality, which is this is the plane we live on. That's the method. Nature, it's seasonal. Nature does okay. It's the humans that are not doing so well. You're not alone. This is huge things for globally. People struggling with what's going on in here with no real sense of how to navigate it. We just have this kind of coping strategies, tips and hacks thing going on, which is just not good for anybody's soul, because what that ends up doing is landing it straight in your lap where there's a problem with you. There's not a problem with you. There's a problem with this culture. It's insane. And then, of course, you feel mad. That's called gaslighting. So let's be gentle. Unexpressed feelings. There's lots of things you can do reflective writing to help yourself hear what's actually going on. However, it's a practice, it's a lifestyle. And as I say, when it's bad enough, we'll invest and do something. We all have murderous rage. Not a popular opinion. However, again, I've been doing this a while. We're primitive. Sometimes when something's too much, we want to get rid of it. That's what the cancel culture is about. Too much, you know, insecurity around it, too threatened, get rid of it. So we do that with our thoughts about ourselves. We do that with our thoughts about other people, and people rarely talk about it. Murderous rage. We're primitive, we have it. The people who talk about these issues don't act on them. Whether it's through dis-ease and suppression where you get physically ill and it manifests in the body, we can't separate mental and physical illness. It's the same thing. This is a switching station for the body. So some people somatize. Something goes into your body because we don't have the words to speak to it. That's not your fault. However, now it is. Once we start to get to know this is the reality, we get to do something about it. You don't have to be alone and suffer. You do not. Get more certainty. That's a morning and evening routine. That's a spiritual practice. These are billionaire success principles. There's a reason why some people are happy and free and wealthy and healthy and wise. They're employing these methods as a lifestyle from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to bed. Then, if you want to go long-term happiness and health, you get to look at what's the real issue. Because it won't be I'm going to get a boob job, do this, do that, I'm going to, have lots of affairs and all the things that we do. It's not about that. That's distraction. It's brilliant, very creative, and I honestly honour you for coming up with stuff that's kept you going. It's not the issue. So we get to reach out to people. You get to put it out there in the cosmos. I'd like to attract somebody to help me look at this stuff so that I can finally release and liberate myself from feeling like this and having all these repeated patterns go on. In terms of me, I have lots of services. One of them is free. You can come here on Sundays, Sunday Soul Cleanse. We set ourselves up for a good week and get rid of all the energy that unnecessarily is attached to us and, keeping us stuck. The other thing I have is, I have a VIP here with lots of videos for you to interact with. I also have the Awakening program, which is a live program twice a week, and a huge catalogue of library of work of masterclasses and so on with me. That's a group program. You get to interact with other wonderful beings. In January, we're kicking off my Inner Circle coaching group, Evolution. You're welcome to look at that. There's also, boundaries, triggers, and relationship mastery. I've done a series on it. It's on my website. You're very welcome to have it. That's profound. Not that any of this other stuff isn't. However, if you just want to like and follow, fantastic. If this video resonates, please save it or share it with someone who means something to you. Bottom line, there's lots of practical things you can do to get more certainty. We feel uncertain, we're in fear. We need to do things on repeat that are good for us, ideally, that we can predict and feel secure with, because you know what's coming with this certain something that you're doing to give you certainty. and be kind. You're a creator. You've come up with some coping strategies. Okay, and now maybe you're outgrowing them and ready to graduate to something that's healthier for you, your life, and the lives of other people around you. Send in huge love.